Hello YouTube, it is I, Mr. Farhan Man, with another video. I finished exam recently, a very stressful one, and even though I may have not passed, that's for future me to worry about. So, I've been hampering you with videos lately. You've been probably seeing my face every day, but I wanted to do something a bit different today. I went overseas for a holiday, to Thailand, Phuket specifically. And I just want to talk about my experience there and any possible, advice if you ever go there or what you can expect when you go to that particular area. I guess to give some context before we delve into this, I personally don't go overseas that much. In terms of holidays, I guess the last few years I can just imagine myself, staying at home, watching TV, playing games. Um, all the people with zero riz. So to give context before we delve into this any further, I personally don't go overseas for holidays. To give context, before we go any further, I personally don't go overseas that often. I think before this particular holiday, I went overseas like 4 or 5 years ago, and so that should give you some idea of like I may have bias for this particular trip just because I don't go that often. Maybe for people that go, every month, every year, they may have a different experience. But personally, I usually spend my holidays staying at home, jacking. When you stay um, in country for so long, you kind of, you kind of act like a grumpy man. It's like, oh, I've been working for like, 10, 15 years. I just want a break, but I don't want to go anywhere. And obviously, in this example, I'm the working man, even though I'm unemployed. But I digress. So yeah, so I just so people that go overseas very often, they probably have a different take on this. Possibly, they might think like, oh man, like there's so many better places to go. Or like Farhan, you're talking bullshit, and okay, fair enough. But I guess let's go in. So I would say first and foremost, plane rides are hell. Like it was hell. Like how to explain this? I don't know how people stay in planes. I don't know if planes can even survive planes. So I think it was like a 7.5 hour or 8 hour journey or something along those lines. And in context, that isn't much. Like back when I was like what 10, 12 years old, I went to America, which is close to a 24-hour trip from Australia. And I kind of don't remember how that experience was. I can tell that I probably ripped my hair off, but like a third of that journey is what killed me. This one, like maybe just economy class, but just it's hard. So to begin, we had kind of a rocky start. So I went with my parents, and when we arrived, it was like late. It was like 9 p.m., 9:10 p.m., and we don't know this place at all. We only have some advice that my brother gave us when he had a trip a few months prior, and essentially we just follow his advice and stuff. But it was new grounds for us. The English there isn't particularly strong, but since it's the airport, you can survive. You can figure it out. We had an option of using a taxi or a minibus to reach our destination, which was Sentara Karon Resort. And the person that we hired the vehicle from, he said that with the minibus it'll arrive in 10 minutes, but if we want to wait for a taxi it'll take 15 to 20 minutes. And we thought we'll make the smart move. Let's be efficient with our time. It's already been very late. It's like 9:10, and so we chose to do the minibus. Now ultimately that was the biggest mistake of our life. What we failed to consider was that a minibus has other people that also need to go to different destinations like us, and we don't know what order they'll be dropping people off. Yeah, so the minibus was filled with white people, which makes sense because they, like us, came from Australia to enjoy this holiday. But from the outside, because it's so dark, I can imagine it looks like locals driving a pack of Australian convicts to a nearby detention center, and that's fine. Looks can be deceiving, but I quite enjoyed two random white guys. They were just having this chat. They were just talking about their life.
Hey, hey, you okay there, Mr. Crocodile? Huh? Wake up, wake up, wake up. You need some lotion, Mr. Bad Skin? Huh? Huh? Yeah, there you go.
And after like a 8 hour plane ride of little action, and I was pretty happy listening to the conversation, but my parents were far from impressed. They just wanted to get to the destination as safe as possible. Yeah, so essentially what happened was that the minibus parked at a nearby information center, what I believe it is information center, because they wanted us to tell those particular staff members where we want to actually go, and then they would collaborate that information and tell the drivers that. So it kind of feels like an unnecessary middleman situation. Like, we're not telling the driver to go to any strange location which needs their guidance, right? But I think it's just more of a safety thing. It was like what 11:30 or 12 by then. It was really late, and we finally reached there, and so this is where we kind of felt a bit bad upon retrospect, right? So the bus driver, so they dropped us last essentially, right? So no one was in the bus except us. So, it's scary, but they wanted to drop us off like not directly in front of the resort. It was like a bit of walking distance, and we don't know where the resort was. We wanted to be dropped off in the very like front of it so that we can just walk in easily, right? Because we don't know where everything is. First time for us being there, right? And so the issue happened was that, okay, my dad was like, all right, we'll pay you a bit extra, but can you just please just drop us directly in front so that we don't get lost, even though it might be really close. And he begrudgingly accepted and stuff. But so he dropped us off. It was all good and stuff. So we offered him. So what change we had? We had 20 baht. So baht is a currency of Thailand, and he kind of like slapped my dad's hand away, and it was a bit unfortunate. He slapped my dad's hand away, and he looked frustrated. He left. He went inside the bus, and then just left. Just left. So me, my mom, and my dad were kind of bewildered, unsure why he responded like that. Because we got 20 baht, was it's fair change. Upon retrospect, we realized that 20 baht in like Australian currency is like less than $1, and yeah. So we, I guess in terms of saying we'll pay you extra, I think he probably expected a bit more than $1, I guess. And so fair enough, he got angry, right? So yeah, so there we are. We got into a resort and stuff. After settling in our rooms, we were able to get some much needed rest and woke up next morning feeling much better, mentally and physically. So we were able to then notice the actual area that we came to, like the actual resort, and we were pleasantly surprised. It was full of plant life, ponds. There's this huge pre-modernized feeling to it. Like, it's just a natural area. Like, it's not tech savvy. There's a local pool. There's actually two local pools, and it's just, you can tell it's meant for like tourists. I guess the only criticism I have, which I guess my family shares, is that due to it being a bit pre-modernized, it lacks elevators, which is not like the worst thing in the world. Let's be honest. So, like, it's more of like a third first world complaint. Um, it's in the sense that, for example, if you have like a room that's in a higher floor, like I think the maximum floors of the normal rooms were 3-story buildings. So our first rooms were in the third story. So walking up those stairs was a bit of a pain. Now, I'm relatively young. Yeah, surprise. I'm relatively young, so it was fine with me. But with my parents, they found it quite difficult because it's a lot of energy and a lot of pressure on your legs. It's not like the stairs are like normal like coated stairs as well, that they absorb the impact as you walk up them. They're just normal gravel type stairs. So there's a lot of pressure on them. So I do say that if you're older or you have like older parents coming along with you on this trip, maybe just keep that into mind. Now there are these rooms in the first story that you can hire as well, or like the main building which has the more fancier rooms. If you go for that, you should be avoiding this problem. So that's all good. So the deal that we had was that Centaura Crown Resort, the place that we stayed at, it had a free breakfast for as much days as you stayed there, and a coupon for like you can get one free lunch or one free dinner any time of the week. So we stayed there for about eight-ish days, and what I'll say is that it was like heaven. Like the free breakfast isn't like just say just a platter of just eggs, tea and coffee and biscuits. It's nothing like that. They had options like it is as much options as possible. You get sausages, you can get noodles, you can get rice, you can get the normal traditional American breakfast as well, like pancakes, toast with butter and stuff like that. And it's just you're blessed with options of whatever you want to eat, and there's no limit as well, right? It's like if all you can eat buffet for breakfast every day, right? And I can tell you like that's the highlight of your staying time there. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just that you'd appreciate it so much because when you're here, right, for most people, I'm assuming you don't get free breakfast and not in that magnitude every single day of your life, right? It was wonderful, and full credits to like the option they give you is actually beautiful. One thing I noticed to tell you that compared to like normal vegetables here, and I'm assuming like other places as well, the vegetables there, I'm not sure if it's just the way they cook or something, but just so much tastier. The juiciness, it's succulent. You just want to lick it right in front of everyone.
Oh, God, what I wouldn't do to that. What? No, no, no!
And so now, I guess we'll talk about pricing and stuff like that. So in terms of just normal daily activities and stuff, Phuket is known as like more of a tourist area. So what we expected was that it'll be a bit more cheaper than things in Australia, which, in fairness, it was. It was cheaper, but it wasn't as cheap as we wanted it to be. So I guess in that idea, we want everything to be free, but no. So we wanted things to be cheaper so that we can buy things in bulk, so that we can give souvenirs to our family and friends back here and all of that. But unfortunately, it was actually very expensive. It kind of makes sense if you think about it. There's tourists visiting all time all year in this particular area. If they get everything cheap here, they just wouldn't. The business wouldn't be sustainable. Now, when I meant that souvenirs are expensive, I just meant like general everyday things like shoes, clothes, accessories. Those things can be quite costly, especially when you go to the malls, which are like the most localized areas of shopping. Those can be quite expensive. But one thing to keep in mind is that eating out is very affordable in Phuket. You can get most meals under $50, $50 of Australian currency, and I think that's very reasonable. As a point of comparison, I would say that, for example, if you want to get Middle Eastern food in Australia and you want to feed a lot of people, maybe like four or five or more people, it costs upwards of $100, which is pretty costly, right? In Phuket, I reckon you can get the same amount of food for about $50 or less, and I think that's a massive thing to have. And especially when you're on holidays, right? One of the main things that appeal to you is that eating different cultures, right? Eating different types of foods and in an affordable range as well, right? So being able to do that in Phuket is a massive thing, and it's kind of crazy to me, like how so many things can be quite costly, like accessories, like necklaces, earrings, and stuff. But the food there, especially in local restaurants, is very affordable. So I definitely recommend if you go to Phuket, bring a lot of money for food, and I'm sure you won't regret it. There was one particular restaurant that was like right like 5 minutes away from it. That was we ate there like three times and all different type of different types of foods. So I recommend if you guys ever go there, just be ready that like bring money for food, particularly because you're not gonna be able to eat that type of food that easily in other countries with that amount of price. So I definitely recommend the food. So I guess next thing is that is it worth going there to get souvenirs and stuff? And I'll say yeah, yeah. I did mention that it's quite expensive, but you can get souvenirs for a lot of prices because in like the streets, just like how similar to like Bangladesh and India and those type of Asian countries, where like normal small businesses on the streets can sell you things in a variety of different stalls, right? And the good thing, like how with those countries that I mentioned, is that you can bargain for stuff, which if you do in Australia, they're gonna kick your ass out. I'm trying to imagine trying to bargain $150 suit from Myers down to like 75 and just slap your ass. But yeah, so bargaining is very big there. You can get things very easily there if you just negotiate well. I guess I'll give examples of what I bought. I bought this, yeah, I got that. It was around 400 to 500 baht. So, but I negotiated to 350 or 300, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I quite like tigers. Um, Somewhat because of the NRL team, but let's not delve there.
Why do the Tigers suck? Been a member my whole life, they've always fucking sucked, bro.
Been asking myself the same question for my whole life.
And what else did I get? I got oh yeah, so I got these. I guess you could say bracelets, two of them. So yeah, two bracelets. The I guess you could say it's to try to boost my chances with ladies. So far it's hasn't worked to plan, but it's a work in progress. What else did I get? I got so I got some shirts for my like friends and family, but I already gave that away, obviously. I gave these keychains to my friends as well. Yeah, I gave these ones. Keychains very affordable. I think they were only like 30-40 baht, which is like $1. I, in fairness, I don't know how expensive in Australia. I wouldn't know, but it's something to give. And I got this. Just I needed to give this to my friends. So that's one. I got two. So double trouble. Three. So a hat trick of dicks. Yeah, so I got these. I had six in total. I already given three away to my mates. I'm gonna give two of these to some others, and gonna keep one for myself. It's multi-purpose. You can, keychain and other promiscuous things. So yeah, so that's the things I've gotten. Yeah, all affordable. It wasn't anything that I bought that was too expensive. What I will say though, one place where you can get a lot of things for a very reasonable price is something called night markets, which only happen on weekends, to my knowledge. There, so night markets essentially what you can think of like those very popular like festival type areas where all stalls are open for a variety of different things, and there's like hundreds and hundreds of people. Like there's so many people that like if you're with someone and then you're like you look away for like a few seconds, you can get lost. Like it's that bad, right? But it was a lovely atmosphere, and I remember sitting down and seeing these two ladies use their clarinets to clarinets or violins to I'm so musically inept to play famous songs and all of that, and I was pretty mesmerized about it because think about how talented these two are, and obviously they're doing it for fun. They're obviously getting a bit paid for it, just like how normal entertainers do. And I was thinking about their skill sets and their talents. I was thinking like, compared to my talents, I'm like, I'm only good for what? Masturbation and speed running through Dorito packets. I guess those are niche type things, but nothing compared to those people, right? Another thing that you have to do is you have to do the day tours there, especially if you're a tourist, because that's your main form of entertainment. And it was honestly beautiful and worth the price. So for three people, I remember the most expensive tour was $500, and essentially it was a 3 island tour where by boat they'd take you from this area, which was near our resort, I guess, and it's like an hour boat ride to one of the islands, and then you can sightsee there. You can I remember there's monkeys as well. And you can also what's the word? You can snorkel. Yeah, snorkeling. I personally didn't do it, but it was just fun watching other people doing it. To be honest, I just wanted to relax on the day, so I didn't really engage. But yeah, snorkeling there, and then the second island, they gave us free lunch for our troubles, and not really troubles, but they gave us free lunch. And the third island, essentially, we just relaxed it. We set shore, and then there's a beach area, and you just allowed to sit there and just, reminisce about life and your regrets, I guess. One thing I was thinking about while I was relaxing on that last island was that how nice the people during this whole trip were. Not just the people on the tours, but just random people in the street or just random people in a restaurant, where when you just interact with them, and also keep this in mind that those people know that we're tourists. They know most of the time that we don't understand what they say, and maybe to some capacity they don't understand what we're saying in English, right? But they're very welcoming. So obviously maybe that's just because they're used to it being a tourist area. They meet people like us all the time. But it's something to appreciate where you can meet random people anywhere on the planet, right? But you won't meet nice people to this capacity, at least in my experience, right? If you met any people or any random people in Phuket that was like unnecessarily weird to you or mad at you for something, or they just didn't appreciate your existence, let me know down in the comments below, because I never faced that. I can only have respect for the type of people there. And when you see people that are enjoying their life and the things that they do, and I give examples to like the tour people, right? Those people probably pretty much go to these islands every day, right? And it's tiring for them. Like you can see that they're tired, right? They're not unhappy, but they are tired. But they go to so much effort to make sure you're having such a good time for the amount of money that we pay for them, that you just have to respect it. And it really boosts your your appreciation of this whole trip. And I think that just sums up Phuket perfectly, to be honest. It's just a nice place with nice people. When you're in an area where you're serviced really well and you're enjoying the scenery, the food, and all that, it's really like a great place. So I wanted to compare myself to a normal person, because I'm not a normal holiday goer, right? So if you ask me to compare this to like Switzerland, I wouldn't know. Firstly, because I haven't gone to Switzerland, and secondly, because I probably won't ever go to Switzerland because of how closeted I am, right? So it's a great experience, and I guess that's kind of sums up the whole video. It's that I recommend going to Phuket a lot, and if you did go there and you don't agree with my opinions and whatnot, you can tell me in the comments below. And to obviously others that watch this video, why? I personally found it a great experience. So to rate this out of 10, I'll give it easy 9. You're probably wondering why not give it a 10 if it's probably the best holiday I've ever had. And that's just because I haven't gone to enough places. Like maybe essentially Hawaii or Bali or even Dubai. Who knows? I could be entertained more easily. Or maybe the food there is tastier. Who knows? So can't give it a 10, but easy 9 from me. And I hope one day that you go. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I know this is a video that I don't do that often. Just wanted to talk about my experience there. And yeah, have a great day.